The Memphis Grizzlies are one of the NBA's most exciting young teams, built around Ja Morant, a superstar guard with highlight reel explosiveness, but a key question hangs over them. How much does this team actually depend on him? On the surface, the answer seems obvious. Morant is their franchise player, averaging over 25 points and 7 assists when healthy. He's the engine of their transition game and the spark that makes them dangerous in crunch time. Without him, they lose that elite downhill pressure that bends defenses. But if we dig deeper, the picture is more complex. In the 2022-23 season, Memphis actually went 20-5 without Ja, thanks to their depth and defense. Tyus Jones filled in as a steady point guard, Desmond Bane stepped up as a scorer, and Jaren Jackson Jr. anchored one of the league's best defenses. That stretch showed that Memphis isn't only about Morant. They're a system built on toughness, depth, and collective defense. Still, in the playoffs, the difference is glaring. Without Ja, their ceiling drops. Regular season depth and culture can carry them for stretches, but in the postseasons, when stars decide series, they need his shot creation and ability to collapse defenses. The Grizzlies can be good without Morant, but they cannot be great. And there's another layer: availability. Morant's suspensions and injuries raise questions about how much the franchise can truly rely on him long term. Can Memphis build a championship core around a player who's not consistently on the floor, or do they have to hedge their bets by continuing to develop Jackson, ED, and their depth in case Morant misses significant time? In the short term, the Grizzlies clearly depend on Ja to be a contender. He's their superstar, their identity, their offensive lifeline. In the long term though, their real strength might be balance, a team so deep that even without Morant, they can still compete. So how much do the Grizzlies depend on Ja Morant? The answer is completely and not at all. Completely because he raises their ceiling to contender status. Not at all because they built a roster resilient enough to survive without him. That paradox is what makes Memphis one of the most fascinating teams in today's NBA. But that fascination is exactly what opens up a bigger conversation about Memphis's identity. The Grizzlies have always built themselves around toughness and culture, from the grit and grind era of Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, and Marc Gasol to today's faster, flashier team. Ja Morant represents this new chapter, more explosive, more marketable, and perfectly suited for the modern NBA. Yet that explosiveness comes with vulnerability. When so much relies on one player, every injury, every suspension, every misstep carries the weight of a potential derailment. That's why Memphis has been deliberate in building balance. Their front office knows they can't afford to live and die with just Ja. Desmond Bane wasn't only just an elite shooter, he also grew into a secondary playmaker who can initiate offense. Jaren Jackson isn't just a rim protector, he's a DPOY who stretches the floor and anchors their identity on both ends. Even younger role players like Santi Aldama and Zaire Williams were being groomed to step up, giving the team more adaptability when circumstances force it. In a way, Memphis is preparing for two timelines, one where Ja Morant is the franchise centerpiece of a contender, and one where their depth and culture hold them afloat if he's not consistently available. This duality makes them unlike many other teams in the league. Think about Dallas without Luka, or Philadelphia without Embiid. Those teams collapse without their star. Memphis, on the other hand, has shown it can still be formidable even without its best player. That resilience is both a blessing and a challenge. It allows them to stay competitive through adversity, but it also creates an open question about what exactly defines them. Are they Ja Morant's team, or are they something larger, a collective built to weather any storm? Ultimately, the truth lies somewhere in between. The Grizzlies need Morant to reach their ultimate ceiling, a real shot at an NBA championship, but they also need to maintain the system and culture that makes them dangerous in his absence. That paradox, the balance between superstardom and system, is not a weakness. It might actually be their greatest strength. Because if Morant can find stability and stay on the court, Memphis has the chance to be both, a team with a transcendent star and the depth to survive the grind of an 82-game season and a brutal playoff run. And that's what makes the Grizzlies so fascinating. They're living in two realities at once. Contenders with Ja, competitors without him. A team built on contradiction, yet still aiming for the same goal.